here who doesn't have any, so I'm going to take them. I consider them more equal to my level.
But I'm probably
So I just wanted to say that, but in every company, because well, at some point you have to have a certain of minorities in your company. You have to have a certain of like women and different type of people apart from male or white men, whatever. But what I'm trying to say is that just because my employees they have hijab, it doesn't work their productivity. It doesn't work their absenteeism. It doesn't harm anything of that. They come to work every morning. They come to work every time that they need to work, and it doesn't hurt your productivity. It doesn't hurt anything that that makes your revenue. So I don't see any reason why. Okay, you said that we have to be equal. Yeah, but you're not gonna tell me that my employees are gonna go home. They have to switch. They have to be normal, and then Arab. They have to switch every time, because it becomes confusing. If you are willing to, if you want us to be equal, then let me be equal in my own, like, not in my own cube, but like I want to be comfortable in what I'm doing. And the fact that I'm comfortable in what I'm doing, the employees will, and what they're doing, so the employees will have, like, they will have better, like they would want to work more, and they know that, okay, you're accepting me as I am, because when you hired me. No, like, even if I was wearing hijab, even if I wasn't, you still hired me, and I'm still working, so there shouldn't be any problem.
Okay. Going back to what you just
Hold on a
said.
sec, Josh.
Yeah, I totally understand your argument, and we're not gonna cut off your rights to wear whatever you want. I mean, we're gonna just put limitations. So basically, we're gonna allow you to maybe put on your hijab or whatever religious symbols in your own personal, like, let's say in your cubicle. But when you're meeting with clients, or when you're meeting in a team team environment, or when exactly, when you're joining up as a team, that's when we want everybody to feel equal. We want everybody to be respected and be like represented as a one team, basically. So we don't want anybody to stand out and just look odd.
So I don't think we're still.
Hold on a sec, Johnson. Go.
But I see this as racism. Because, like, come on, like, you're saying that, like, people won't take me serious because I want to wear a hijab?
Well, look, because
In
Okay,
public areas?
let's stop right there, and we have to get a conciliator in, sorry, and then we'll start it off with Salvatore after the conciliator.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, does both sides understand the other's position?
yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Do you think that there is a point in which you can find an agreement to make a concession, something that you can review and make it differently, so that both of you can have a little of what you want?
We just
Okay, no, that's perfect though, it's exactly how you explain that, perfect. So now, we're gonna carry on, Salvatore.
Okay, that's not what you're saying. We, as an organization, are not the racism. We're trying to avoid you being attacked from racist customers outside of the place, or potential racist people working in your environment. We want to create the fact that when we hired you for your skills as a worker, not because, like she said, because they're wearing a hijab, because of religion. We like your qualities as a worker, so we want those to stand out. We don't want anything to be interpreted as something that diminishes your work based on what you're wearing. So it's not racism in a way. We're trying to give you the opportunity to be equal to everyone else, so nobody discriminates against you. And either way, when you're coming into the workplace, you're coming into work. So whether you're comfortable with your religious symbol or not, it's not impeding you from working. It's not going to be your hijab that's going to make you work stronger or not. It's the fact of the willingness that you have to work. So we're not really taking it away from you. We're just telling you, for that moment when you come in as a worker, become one person, become one with everybody else you're working around, being on the same level as them, being equal, and work together on making that goal of what we're trying to produce at the end. And not saying, I'm not going to do it because I'm not allowed to wear my hijab. Whereas the person next to you who's not wearing anything, what does he have to complain about if he wants to complain? You're sort of giving yourself an excuse for something when we're trying to give nobody any excuse, nobody any discrimination, everybody's equal on one page.
There's already a dress code in our organization. I mean, you have to wear a suit, you have to wear a skirt, not too short, not too long, and this is like already some rules you have to respect, and nobody complains about that. This is just some extra rules which won't affect your work, which won't affect anything. I mean, you can, as Joshua said, there is some kind of negotiation we could have done, because if you are during your break time or during your lunch time or something which doesn't make you meet other people from the organization, if you are in your office, I mean, you can wear whatever you want. This is not forbidden. So this is kind of, you know, you adapt to the organization policy, but we let you some some freedom. So I guess I mean, it doesn't affect you. I mean, okay, this is the religion, but what if your religion is to come naked, like outside? So we won't allow you to come inside our company, right?
The extra rule that you're trying to put, and I completely understand that. But the extra rule that you're trying to get, you have to see it from the fact from the employee itself. Hold on.
It's
all on camera. I have to understand, like, you telling me for 8 hours or 7.5 or whatever, if I have an hour break, so it's in 7 hours a day. So for 7 hours a day, you telling me to leave my religion. That's something that, you know, from I was born into. You can tell me to leave it for 8 hours a day. That's really
Okay, hold on, let's stop there, let's stop, no, we'll come back. We went from conciliation, that gave an understanding that both sides see the areas that you can go with. It's not really taking any decisions, but just coming to a basic agreement, correct? You did a good job with that. Now we're moving to Adrienne with mediation, and mediations allows a little bit more of a direction, of a suggestion, of a direction to go in on each side. Okay, Adrienne.
Okay, so I think I understand both sides what you stand for. And I think when employees came there to be hired for the job, they came and certain rules were already put in the company. So I understand why they are afraid of putting new rules. So I understand what they want to do, but I understand also what you want to do, because we are in a world that is increasingly moving up, changing up. So if you want to every customer to feel comfortable with the company, you have to do some change. So I understand both sides that, but as Joshua said, you have to set rules. I understand, but be careful with the limitations, because just a little cross, it's not the solution. But you have to do something. It's not just the management they have to accept something, you have to accept something too. Both sides have to accept something and to find an agreement, to make concessions.
Very good, Adrienne. That's perfect. Okay, continue. I think it was going to Salvatore.
Yeah, based on the last thing that you had said, that we're,
telling me to 7 hours to.
yeah, that we're taking it away from you, right? Okay. We're not really doing that, because what we're asking you simply is to just remove the symbols, because your religion is what makes you who you are. You're the type of worker and the type of person you are because of, like you said, what you were born into, the religion that you are. We're not asking you to forget about that, and when you come to work, to forget what religion you're part of. We're just asking you to, yes, but the symbol, whether you're wearing it on you or not, if I forget to wear my cross one day or another, it won't change the fact that I am the religion that I am.
It's about the hijab.
Exactly, for that situation there, we know in certain cases, we can take from examples from France, where they're working that they don't really, it doesn't bother them that much when they're not wearing the hijab. They just look at it as, okay, I'm taking it off so that I can be equal to everybody else around me, and I won't have somebody who's, we'll say uneducated, to say it nicely, who's uneducated to look at me and say, I'm not going to consider this person as equal as the next because of this, because of what they're wearing, because of that. We're giving you a chance to show who you are based on you, and not based on what you're wearing, because your religion does not define you. It doesn't define the type of person that you work. It's not defining the type of worker that you are. So we don't want that to be a constraint on you and how you work and be discriminated against and all that. That's why we're putting in this law. It doesn't take away your religion. We're not telling you guys to forget about it. You guys can come in every day to do the same thing, but just away from the working environment, away from your team, away from anywhere where you can be discriminated against.
Okay, take it your side, anyone.
Okay, well, what we decide on, let's say something.
Oh, hold on, Ken.
No, because it's not mandatory to put this role. If some people in your company will quit because you would apply this charter, so they will feel uncomfortable to work without their religious symbol. So they're gonna quit, and you're gonna replace them by other people. So hire and train new employees, and you're gonna spend some money to hire and train them. So if you keep your employees and accept them as they are, is the best solution.
But that's-
Yeah, we should, because,
and-
I mean,
You're gonna lose a competitive advantage because people that quit because you apply this rule, they're gonna see other organizations and you're gonna lose a competitive advantage because there are good elements in your company.
Very well put, management, and you can take back to it.
Alright, so, okay, we don't have to do that because this is just applying for like public sector, but I mean, what if we need some loan from the government? So the government, the government won't give us any money because they're gonna say, okay, you don't agree with us, you don't agree with our law, so, but you expect us to give you money, right? So no, it's not gonna work like that. We have to adapt to the country where we live. This is the way business works. It's like that.
But you don't disagree with the government, you just apply all the rules.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
we
the
want
government's-
we don't want to disagree, but we want to agree with the government.
We want to get on the same page more or less, so that we're not looked at as the company who did not want to go with our rules, and they won't, like, they're gonna discriminate against us again now. It goes back to that same discrimination. They're gonna look at us, you're the company that did this, we wanna make it, because everybody at a certain point or another in the business world has had to adapt to change. Whether they liked it or not, some were unbelievably unacceptable and some were crazy, and now look at it today. Some way or another, people find a way to adapt themselves into it. It's not something that we're asking you to do that's impossible.
But
It's something that'll be hard to deal with, but it's not impossible at the end of the day.
But what if?
Okay, so this is gonna be your final area, but maybe you continue, this will be your final type of rebuttal to it. Okay,
Okay,
go.
no, but what if, okay, for your company, let's not worry about what, well, we can worry about what the government says, but you can still go against it, well, whatever. But just what I'm trying to say is that, like, what if you asked us, the employees, like, what they think of the charters, values,
Yeah.
and then you ask them, if majority of them say, okay, they're willing to make a change, then you can apply. But but what would you, like, would you be willing to, like, not apply it if majority says they don't want to implement it, they don't want it in their environment?
Well put, good question. This will be your last statement, and then we have an arbitrator.
First of all, I just want to say something about the security, because we have our office, and this is a business area, but we also have some factories plant, and it could be really dangerous wearing like a burqa while you're working with the machineries and things like that. You could get,
The piece of clothing gets caught in the machine,
and
and then
you
off
could
But
get
us,
hurt.
like, protective suits.
We're not aware.
In the
Yeah, but
factory,
okay,
you
so then-
provide us with the.
All right, perfect, yes, we're providing you with protective suits. Wearing the protective suits, wouldn't it impede you from wearing each other?
No,
We're
because
sort of just telling you guys to,
you told me to take it off, I can
It's
still
not-
have
it's
it
just
on,
not
but the
convenient.
suit is still on me.
it's not, yeah, but we're asking you to go through such measures when because you're still gonna be differentiated after, because then it's gonna be, they're still wearing, it always comes back to the fact that you're gonna be discriminated on the fact that people will not look at you as equal. Because if you're not wearing that, what's to make the employee remember that you were wearing it when you came into work? When you're on the field, they'll look at you as, he's my employee, he's my coworker, we're on the same page, we're both humans. Because there's those people out there that they'll look at it as not being human or whatever, those really uneducated people, we'll call them again, who don't want to look at it as equality. So we can't, not to say that those are our values, but we can't rely that everybody's gonna have the same values as us in this
How
room.
would take those employees and get them out of there?
Okay, now, hold on a sec, it's come to the point where we still can't move forward, we've come to a roadblock. We went through conciliation, provided a little bit of guidance, didn't really work. Went through mediation. Mediation gave you guys a little bit of direction on which way to go. A direction to go a little bit more on the management side of things, a direction a little bit more on the union side of things. You still haven't come to an agreement. Final step, arbitration. The arbitrator, a neutral third party, came in, has been listening to everything, and the arbitrator now is gonna make the final decision for management, for union.
So I understand. I understand this is a hard decision, and I understand both sides. But we are here to find the best decision for the company, this entire company. And we also have to think about the customers and all the external environment of this company. So I think the best decision for the company is to try to agree the most as possible with the chart, to allow the discrete signs of religion as soon